Summer has come to an end, and as much as I love summer, I am so happy about that. I'm happy that it's fall, and one of the reasons I'm happy about that is because my garden is dying. In fact, as I'm recording this video, we're going to get our first frost tonight. So I'm so excited for my garden to die and be done. I know I shouldn't say that, right? As someone who lives like on a farm and homestead and does all this stuff, I should love gardening. I should love all those things, but I'm just going to be honest, I'm kind of over it. Now, I know this is just a temporary feeling. I'm feeling over it because I've had a baby this year. And for me, on the years that I have a new baby, or, just times when I'm maybe like in my first trimester and I'm just not feeling good, I don't want to do all these things. I really don't want to mess with the garden. I don't want to go out and milk the cows. I'm just over it. None of it excites me. But the thing is, we've been doing this long enough that I know the excitement will come back around. The baby will turn one. Usually it's about, for me, like when they turn one, then I really start wanting to do all those things again, and I get excited about them all over again, just like I was 7 years ago when we moved out to this farm and I was doing all of those things for the first time. But right now, I'm just over it. I'm ready for this frost, ready for my garden to die so that I can, ask John and the kids to go tear it all out and just be done with it for the year and not think about it. I probably won't even do any planning until like after the first of the year. But right now, I do still have things coming in from the garden. I have a ton of tomatoes. That is mainly what I still have coming in from the garden, what it's still producing. I grew Juliet tomatoes this year. They're a hybrid. I've never grown hybrid tomatoes before. I've always grown heirlooms, and I'm not sure if I'll stick with them, but they are very prolific producers. Like, they're just these beautiful, you'll see them here in a minute. They're these beautiful Roma hybrid tomatoes. And, I get a massive bucket full of them like once a week off of maybe 20 plants or so. So I have a bucket full of them today that I need to do something with. And actually, as I was filming this video, it was just the baby and I. So I figured I would do a little cooking marathon and kind of take you along with me and talk to you as I cook. So right now I have some ground beef out. I've got some bone broth out. I've got some leftover chicken that I heated up in the oven, and I'm just going to try to put all of this stuff to use. Like a little small cooking marathon here when I have a little pocket of time to do so. And then I'll do something with those garden tomatoes as well. And you're definitely going to want to see what I do with them, because this is like the ultimate garden tomato hack. It's all fun and games when you plant 20, 30, 40 tomato plants until you have them coming in by the bucket, and then you just don't have time to can them or freeze dry them or whatever you do to preserve them, But we'll get to that. Right now I've got this chicken, and I'm just going to throw together like some kitchen sink chicken and dumplings. That's what I'm going to make. I've made chicken and dumplings for you guys many times with my sourdough dumplings. I will link that recipe for the sourdough dumplings and for the chicken and dumplings. I'll link that in the description below the video, so just tap the more button. But today I'm going to mix it up a little bit, try to use some leftovers and be creative. I'm finding that having a lot of kids spread over different ages and phases, so I have like big kids who have sports and all kinds of activities, and then little ones and babies with their nap times, it's challenging. It's really challenging. And lately I've just been coming to the conclusion, like, there are only so many hours in a day, and there are some things that I'm just gonna have to let go of doing myself. But when it comes to my kids' education and things that I really want to be hands-on with them, I personally am not willing to outsource that kind of stuff. So I've had to get creative, like thinking, what else can I let go of? What else can I outsource? And one thing that I have let go of almost completely is actually physically going to the grocery store and doing my grocery shopping. And these days, there are a lot of options that actually make that really easy. One of my favorites is Thrive Market. Thrive Market is an online grocery store. They have all the things that you need, from healthy groceries to toiletries, household items, cleaning products, skincare, hair care, just all the things that you would get when you went to the grocery store. And what I love most about Thrive Market is that I don't have to read labels and worry about bringing a bunch of toxins into my home, because Thrive Market does all of the heavy lifting in that area. They're committed to offering truly healthy, natural products. They have banned over 1,000 harmful ingredients to date. So all I have to do is just get on my Thrive app, load up my cart, check out, I'm done, and I know that my order will arrive straight to my door in like 2 to 3 days. It's very fast. Plus, all orders over $49 do ship for free from zero waste warehouses. So I love that Thrive Market makes an effort to be environmentally friendly. They're also charitable. They donate a free membership to a family in need for every paid membership. Plus, they do price match. So if you find something cheaper somewhere else, then they will match that price. What I really love about Thrive Market is that not only do they have a huge healthy selection of all the things that I need, they also have like the cheapest membership option for this type of grocery delivery service. Even the local grocery delivery services where they'll like go and, you know, pick up groceries from a store local to you and bring them to your house, the membership's like twice as much as a Thrive Market membership. So with Thrive, you can do a monthly or annual membership. It's $12 a month or $59.95 a year. So $60 a year. Like I said, that is half the price of a lot of other grocery delivery services. So you just can't beat it, and there's no commitment. So you're not, you know, obligated to order a certain amount. You just get on your Thrive app anytime you want, as often as you want, or as infrequently as you want, and you place your grocery order. It is as simple as that. And when you use my link, thrivemarket.com/Hopewell Heights, you will get 30% off your first order plus a free gift worth up to $60. So be sure to check out more details in the description below this video. Just tap the more button below the video. You can read all about it. Click my link to get started with Thrive Market and take grocery store runs off your list of things to do. Okay, so you know, one of my secrets to just saving time and making things easier in the kitchen is I have like several base recipes that I have memorized and I've made so many times that I can very easily modify them to use what I have on hand. And you know, soup is like that. Like if you've made soup once, you can make soup a million times, a million different ways. And you kind of get used to adjusting things for texture and, you know, whatever herbs and spices you have on hand. So like chicken and dumplings, I'm just going to adjust that today to use the leftovers I have in the fridge. So I had like baked or roasted a couple of chickens, and I pulled the meat, and, you know, we only ate one. So I had one left, a whole chicken left over, pulled the meat off of that. I'll use that meat in the chicken and dumplings, use some bone broth that I had in the fridge already, and then the carcass of the chicken, that is what I put in the big blue Dutch oven behind me, and then I filled it with water, and I'll start the next batch of bone broth. And then I was browning some beef because we're gonna make spaghetti with these Juliet tomatoes. So these were the ones I was talking about, the hybrid Romas that are just beautiful. So yeah, I get probably a bucket this size, maybe once a week from my 20 Juliet plants. And maybe if I would have actually been out in my garden pruning them, I would get even more, but I was super sick this summer and the garden is like a wild jungle. So I just send the kids out once a week and say, pick as many tomatoes, as many ripe tomatoes as you can find. So just gonna rinse these, and rather than going through a million steps like boiling and peeling the skins and juicing tomatoes, we are going to make one pot garden tomato sauce. Now, if you've been around here for a while, you have seen my, you know, like easy one pot garden tomato sauce that I use for canning. And in that, I actually use carrots and a bunch of stuff. But this is a little bit different. It's just a little bit simpler. It's very quick. So I'm adding I don't even know. Is this like maybe 5 pounds of tomatoes? I didn't weigh them or anything. I'm not measuring. You'll see. It's just very basic, very simple. Washed and rinsed my tomatoes, added them to a big Dutch oven. Now I'm gonna dice, just like roughly chop, dice some garlic and a big onion and throw that in there. And then I'm just going to simmer it all for, I don't know, maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes. It really just depends on what I have going on as far as how long it will simmer. Now, usually I would get a bunch of herbs out of the garden too, just like a huge bouquet of whatever herbs I had growing, and I always have parsley and thyme and basil and sage and what else? Oregano. I have all the things, but my tomatoes like got so crazy that they just overtook the herb garden and killed all the herbs, and it's just all a massive tomato patch out there now because I neglected it. So I do not have any fresh herbs at the moment, but that's okay. We'll just put some salt and pepper in here, put like some Italian seasoning. I feel like, a good tomato sauce is just so forgiving. You just dump stuff in there and see what happens. That's like the story of my life with cooking. Let's just dump some stuff in a pot and see what happens. And it's not always a success, but like I say over and over again, like I've been doing this long enough to where usually it is now. I've been married for, well, I've been with John for 15, almost 14, 15 years. I lose track. So that whole time I've been cooking for us on my own, like figuring things out. And so I usually just know. I can usually just eyeball things. So here's my tomato, onion, garlic, salt, pepper, and herbs that was simmered for probably about 30 to 45 minutes. And now I am blending it up with an immersion blender. Now, I probably should not be doing this in my caraway pot. That is very careless because you could damage the ceramic coating, but I was careful not to let the immersion blender touch the bottom. Still, it would have been much wiser of me to use a cast iron Dutch oven if I was going to blend it up with my immersion blender in there. So I'm just, sharing that little note and eating some Brazil nuts out of my freezer as I grab some frozen pasta. So this is so easy. Like I said, this is truly like a one pot meal. If you have dry pasta, that's fine. I've never done this with fresh homemade pasta, like dropped it right into the sauce. Or maybe I have, I don't know. But this was frozen pasta, frozen sourdough pasta that I had gotten from Wild Grain. So I just put it right in the sauce. And then I added my browned beef, covered it, and I'll let that simmer for another half hour or so until the pasta's cooked. And then that's it. Then it's done. So it's so easy. That is the one pot spaghetti. And there's no blog post or recipe because I don't have time to do it this week. I have not had time to get any blog posts of my new recipes up for the last several months. But, that season will come around when the baby's a little bit older and, I can lay him down at night and I have energy to spend like a half an hour typing up a blog post or something. I just don't have that kind of energy right now, so I don't do it. But anyway, while the one pot spaghetti is simmering, I'm just moving on here back to my chicken and dumpling project. So when I'm in the kitchen, I have like a block of time where I'm uninterrupted. I just kind of bounce from task to task. I try to keep a couple of things going because I really need to maximize time, when it's uninterrupted. So on this particular day, John had the kids at pickleball. But when they got home, it was time to eat. It was good timing. The spaghetti was finished. I'll show you that. So, so delicious. You just cannot beat fresh garden tomato sauce. So, here in zone 6B, our growing season is really, really long. Our first frost doesn't come until like mid-October, early to mid-October usually. And then the last frost is usually sometime in April. So between then, that's our growing season. So if you start tomato seeds indoors, you can potentially have fresh tomatoes for like half of the year, which, if you did this method of just like once a week going out and picking all of your ripe tomatoes, putting them in a big pot and making this, one pot sauce, making a big batch of spaghetti, there you go. You have one meal a week, easy meal a week from your garden fresh potatoes, and you don't have to do any canning or preserving. Although I do like to can tomato sauce and have enough for the whole year. I've done that in my 7 years of gardening. I think 3 of those years I've managed to have enough tomato sauce canned for the entire year. Not this year. I definitely don't. I have enough maybe to last us through the end of December. This actually is into the next day. That's why I'm wearing something else now, because I had started that chicken and dumplings, and then as you saw, I opened a container with the carrot and garlic that I'd chopped up because, after we had eaten the spaghetti, after we'd eaten lunch, we had to get back to schoolwork, and I just got busy. I was like, what, I'm going to put this away, this chicken and dumpling project I started. I'm going to put everything away. At least everything is chopped up and prepared, and then tomorrow I will throw it all in a big pot and actually make the chicken and dumplings. And that happens a lot too. Like I'll start a cooking project and then I don't know, something comes up. That's just how it is when kids are running around and you got a lot of stuff to do. So then I stop and resume it, later that day or the next day. But even just using those spare moments to get vegetables chopped up or get food halfway prepped, that's just what you got to do sometimes. So this chicken and dumpling recipe, I started by adding, I had carrots, I had garlic, I had some sauteed cabbage from the day before that was left over. Went ahead and threw that in there. I think I threw some more onion in there, a little bit of freshly milled flour to kind of thicken it up just a little bit. And then I used all the bone broth that I had in the fridge that needed to be used up. I've got the chicken that I got off of the whole chicken from the day before. Added this all to a big pot, salt, pepper, some dried herbs, and then what I just dumped in last was actually leftover biscuits. So my dumpling dough, my sourdough dumpling dough, it's just biscuit dough, like rolled out really thin, and then I slice it with a pizza cutter, and it makes the best dumplings. So, just crumbling up leftover biscuits from a couple days before and putting them in my chicken dumplings was like the same effect. This turned out great. It was delicious. A little bit of a twist on my usual recipe, but that's it. This video went by fast. Here I am just chatting away, chatty Cathy today, talking all about food, and the video is already over. Thank you guys for hanging out this week. I hope you get a chance to try my one pot garden tomato sauce. I guess you don't have to have garden tomatoes. You can use regular tomatoes. But have you guys ever done that? If so, let me know in the comments, or let me know, what is your favorite way to use your garden tomatoes? All right, well, thank you guys for watching, and be sure to check out the offer that Thrive Market has for Hopewell Heights subscribers in the description of this video. I will see you all next week.